Hi, everybody. It's Christina Quick, the Tarot Biz Mentor here from the Profitable Psychic Divination and Business Academy. Welcome to today's video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about 3 unusual and fun ways that you can utilize to memorize the tarot card meanings. I remember when I was first starting out with reading tarot cards, it was very, very overwhelming. I remember that I definitely felt overwhelmed at the fact that there are 78 individual cards. And then when you get to like court cards and pips, like forget about it. It's really, really complicated. So I remember what it was like, just to kind of get a basic grasp of each of the card meanings. And I remember I had so many books. I went out and I bought all these books on tarot card meanings, and to my dismay, they were all different. There were some things that were similar, but they were all very, very different. And that just compounded my confusion and my frustration even more. So, if you are someone who's just now starting out to try to learn the tarot card meanings, I understand why you might think that it's really difficult, or that you might think that you might never have memorized all 78 cards. Well, I can tell you that you eventually will, but you may not be able to do it in the traditional way, as far as like reading just books about it, comparing and contrasting little white books and the decks, the little books that come with the decks, you know what I mean? And so if you aren't quite ready to get into like a tarot course where you're learning from someone more on like a one-on-one type of situation, you might be interested in some of the ways that I actually learned tarot cards, and some of the ways, the unusual ways that I went about doing this, because in the beginning it was really, really boring. Like, I remember being only able to study for like 20 minutes, and before I would just get super bored and be like, okay, this is dumb, like I'm never going to learn it this way. And so then I started applying these techniques, and it just made learning tarot cards so much easier and a lot more fun. Okay, so the first unusual and fun way that you can memorize the tarot card meanings is to assign a song to each card. So, for example, one of my favorite cards in the whole deck is the Nine of Pentacles. It's the lady sitting down, or in some cards she's sitting down, or she's standing up and she's got the falcon on her arm, and she's in this beautiful garden. So it's a card of, content and being self-sufficient and having our needs met, right? And so I applied it's not Beyonce, well, it is Beyonce, but it was her other band before then. The band has escaped my mind, but it was Beyonce's band before she was just a solo act, and Independent Woman. That's the song that I applied to that card, and I went through the whole deck, and I just, it's a long project. It's not like you're gonna be, unless you're a music buff and you're really, really into music and you know music a lot, then sure, maybe this will take you a couple months, but I would definitely recommend putting together some a journal, or maybe even like a playlist on YouTube or something along those lines, and think about all of the songs that you can apply to certain cards that just kind of tap into like the basic image of the card. And if you are curious about how to do that, I do have a video on YouTube. It's called Intuitive Storytelling with Tarot. And it talks about, I think it's like a 2-hour workshop, and it really talks about how to read the cards more intuitively and more like pictorially than just by the standard meaning in the book, or, the traditional meanings of the tarot cards. So check that out, and that will help you. That may be something you need to do first before you go to this. But, just if you can get the basic essence of the card, or just assign a couple keywords to it, and then find a song that relates to that, then it's a really fun way to memorize the tarot card meanings. And when I'm reading cards and I know these songs that are associated with each of these cards, then it's like, it's fun, because it becomes it becomes a musical tarot reading, and I start singing the songs in my head. So number 2, the second unusual and fun way that you can memorize the card meanings. This is kind of like a twofold thing. One, I suggest that you could write a poem about each of the cards, just a really short poem, maybe like a haiku or something like that. Or it doesn't even have to rhyme. Poetry is art, so you can do whatever you want. If you're not a poet, then I recommend writing a really short story about what you see going on in the card. Like, Why is that person feeling the way they do? What happened to them? You know, like putting some backstory on each of the characters in the card and the scene that's kind of playing out. You can also do this with like another way that you could also do this. The third way is that if you're not really a poet, and you're not really a writer, not all of us are. What you could do is if you are really interested in movies, or if you read a lot of books or something like that, or you like a lot of plays and you like to go to plays or watch plays, musicals, what you could do, the third way, is you could assign certain scenes in books or movies or musicals or theater to specific cards. And actually, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck was inspired by a lot of theater, because Pamela Coleman Smith was an artist that did backdrops in theater projects, and they were all, you know, into theater, and many of the people that she hung out with were also actresses in the theater and things like that. So actually there's also already a book out that it's Secrets of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, I think it's called, but it kind of goes over some of Pamela's inspiration, at least for the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. For example, the Nine of Swords is based on Juliet, and her being from Romeo and Juliet, and her being sad about Romeo, you know, and then what all happens with that. But so yeah, those are my three ways, and all of these are really fun and unusual ways to work with the tarot cards. And what it will do is it'll help you kind of utilize the knowledge that you already have in your brain. So if you're really, really good at music, then you already have a library of meanings that you can assign. If you're really into movies or pop culture, you know, you can apply those. Or if you are creative and you like to write, then you can write poetry, or you can write short stories about each of the cards. And this is a way that you can learn the tarot card meanings without using the books, without like comparing and contrasting, you know, this author said this author said that. It's just a way to make it more of a personal experience. And then once you have a really good grasp on the energy of the cards, it becomes a lot easier to verbalize what that energy is and apply that to your readings. So I'm curious, do you have any fun and interesting ways that you have utilized to memorize the tarot card meanings? And if you do try any of these methods, let me know how that goes in the comments below. I will see you in the next video. Bye.